Good evening, everyone, and welcoming you to Arogya's 2021 Annual Gala. I'm Tracy Tandon, and I will be your MC for this evening. Now, by background, I'm actually a filmmaker and a journalist, but tonight I decided to join you all and become an Arogya ambassador because Arogya's mission is something that I truly relate to and believe in, like so many of us who are here this evening. Growing up, I grew up in a Punjabi family where food was always the focal point. I'm sure other Indians and other cultures here tonight can relate. Food was there through good times, bad times, moments of celebration, moments of grief, through our mundane everyday life. Food is and was always the fulcrum. And with so much emphasis being placed on food, I realized as I was growing up how little I really knew about it, how little I knew about good nutrition, about better choices, healthier eating habits, and ultimately developing a healthier lifestyle. And I felt that this is something that was so teachable and so easy to master, and yet none of us were really ever given the proper tools unless we took the onus upon ourselves to go and educate ourselves about this. So I truly salute Arogya for picking up the baton here and empowering people with this knowledge and this ability to go and make those small lifestyle changes that can really impact their long-term health and subsequently their life. Now, the pandemic has really, I think, gone and placed a spotlight on the importance of health. And it's shown us that health is really the true wealth, and that how better decisions that we can make at an individual, at a community, at a global level can truly lead to better health for everyone involved. Now, Arogya has been working on this long before COVID. They've been working hard to educate people about the biggest silent killer, which is non-communicable diseases like diabetes and heart diseases. With their science-based, creative and effective programs like Healthy Schools, My Thali, M-Diabetes, Healthy Workplaces, Arogya has really shown that non-communicable diseases are in fact preventable. I want to point out that we deliberately picked October 16th, which is World Food Day, as the day to have the gala because we really wanted to reiterate how a nutritious and a healthy diet can not only improve our lives, but also the lives of future generations. And so the theme of tonight's gala is Catalyzing a Healthier Next Generation, which was also really carefully planned and picked. And through the course of this evening, you'll see exactly why. Now, speaking of this evening, we have a very, very exciting lineup for you tonight. The highlight of which is a fireside conversation between Arogya founder and CEO Nalini and renowned chef Vikas Khanna. We'll also be hearing from change makers, Arogya board members, and Arogya staff on the ground in India. We've also got a very cool magic show coming up with a renowned magician and mentalist, Joe Turner. And we're also extremely thrilled to have Dr. Venkat Narayan from Embry University, who will be giving us some concluding remarks tonight. Now, I would like to share with you that at any point in tonight's gala, you can text Arogya to 61094 and donate. So don't feel the need to be prompted or reminded. Anytime that you feel inspired or you feel that there is a message or a moment that has really connected with you and you would like to give, you can go ahead and give by texting to 61094. And also do remember that 100% of your donations go directly to supporting Arogya and their programs, and it's all tax deductible. But first, here's a little more about Arogya.
Arogya World was founded in 2010 with a simple idea: to prevent non-communicable diseases. Our region of focus is India, which is often referred to as the diabetes capital of the world.
We are a chronic disease prevention organization that promotes prevention through healthy living and lifestyle change.
We've reached 5 million people with our doorstep health model, taking prevention to people where they live, learn, and work. How does one organization help people lead a healthy life when they have no disease, no symptoms? Arogya World, staying true to its name, has been answering that question day after day since its formation in 2010. In 2011, we set up the first of our many well-designed, science-based programs, and then evolved through many milestones. Arogya World works with global experts and engages with communities and consumers at the grassroots level. Our programs are backed by science and executed with empathy. Our work is made possible by the continued support of our donors and partners. They are integral to our success, and we thank them. We have communicated our points of view broadly and are proud to have received several prestigious awards and recognition over the years. We have ambitious plans to help millions of people improve their health and lifestyle. COVID-19 did not stop us in our tracks. We strengthened partnerships, launched new mental health criteria for workplaces, and are investing in technology. Arogya World is gearing up for the next decade by interacting with governments at the city, state, and central government levels. We have shown proof of concept. We know where we're going and how to get there. Join us as we set foot into a new decade with dreams of building a healthier world.
Hi, I'm Radhika Papandreou, Managing Partner at Korn Ferry. I also have had the privilege of sitting on the board of Arogya World for the last 2 years. I joined the board because I honestly believe we can help stop the spread of non-communicable disease, not only in India, but also abroad. And we would not be here with the support of every one of you. Thank you. We especially want to thank our platinum level gala sponsors, Rural India Supporting Trust and Cigna. In addition to the gala sponsorship, both organizations also provide significant multi-year support for our on-the-ground programs. RIST is helping us educate 350,000 middle school children all across India on healthy living. Importantly, they have helped us digitize the school program, which we also are now rolling out in Goa and Maharashtra. RIST also helps us send text messages and voice messages on diabetes prevention to hundreds of thousands in rural South India, working with Arvind and L.V. Prasad Eye Institute. Cigna previously supported our My Arogya mobile app development and the evolution of our Platinum Healthy Workplace program. They now support the promotion of My Thali in urban India. To both RIST and Cigna, thank you for the investment in us. Our Gold level sponsors include Quinnex and Mesero that have supported us generously every year. We are truly grateful for your continued faith in us. Also, our thanks go beyond Type 1 for supporting us again this year. Our other individual and corporate sponsors are listed on screen. To all our donors, thank you. You have helped us educate greater than 6 million people in India on NCD prevention and measure impact. Please watch short videos now from our platinum level sponsors, following which will be remarks from one of our program colleagues in India, and then another board member. Thank you so much and enjoy the evening.
At Cigna, we are dedicated to improving the lives and well-being of the communities and the individuals that we serve. That's why we're proud to sponsor Arogya in their efforts to prevent disease through education and lifestyle. Together, we're helping people lead healthier lives.
Hello everyone, my name is Paul Glick and I'm the Executive Director for the Rural India Supporting Trust. We are a grant-giving foundation that works on improving the quality of life for those in India. I'd like to welcome you to the Arogya World 2021 Gala and hope that you join us in supporting them. We have been working with Arogya World for many years now on two important programs. One of them is involved with reducing the incidence of diabetes in India, and the other one takes us into many of the classrooms throughout the country where we speak with children about health and nutrition education. Of course, healthcare is a main tenet of our organization, and Arogya World has really helped us to come closer to meeting the goals and objectives that we have put out for ourselves within the organization. Our partnership has been a fruitful one, and I just hope that you all really enjoy the program that they have prepared for us and look forward to maybe meeting many of you in the future in a partnership. So take care and enjoy the show.
Hello, my name is Neeta Valavalkar. I am the program chief at Arogya World. I joined Arogya World a little over 5 years ago, and it has been an incredible journey so far. I come with 15 plus years of experience in mainstream FMCG and telecom industries, leading brands and marketing divisions. After an entrepreneurial stint of 5 years, there came a point in my career when I wanted to give back to the society and apply my marketing skills in a better place and make real difference. Since then, with Arogya World, we've touched more than 22 million people through my Thali program and 1.7 million people through mHealth. I have personally led both these programs with passion and perseverance. At Arogya World, I have been able to match the pace of planning and execution of programs and projects with the pace of any for-profit organization with an eye on the next big target. Moreover, the job satisfaction that comes with witnessing the on-ground impact is unparalleled. The systematic and scientific approach at Arogya World has proven to deliver programs that are scalable and sustainable. I would like to personally thank all the donors in the US for your generous contribution. Thank you. Thank you for your support. We can live up to our promise of changing the course of chronic disease one community at a time.
Hello, I'm Neeru Arora, board member of Arogya World for the last 5 years. I currently serve Volkswagen Financial Services in North America as their CIO, and I really admire the way Arogya is using technology to advance public health. The second wave of COVID ravaged India earlier this year, causing untold grief, loss, and devastation. I was very happy that Arogya World, not traditionally a disaster relief organization, stepped out of its comfort zone and started the COVID Solidarity Fund. I, of course, made a personal contribution right away, and Volkswagen matched that contribution 300%. We at Arogya are very grateful for their support. We are also grateful to chef contestants from MasterChef Season 10, led by Subha Ramya, who raised significant funds through wonderful online recipe demos and auction prices to cook multi-course meals. Our sincere thanks to many of our communities who stepped up and supported us. With your funds, we were able to support Mission ICU and their incredible endeavor to set up ICU beds in Tier 2 cities in India. We also helped Sangat provide broad-based mental health support through listening circles. Please hear from these organizations now. Thank you.
Arogya World's generous support enabled Mission ICU to provide a 10-bed ICU kit to Tumkur District Hospital.
Hello everyone. When the second wave of COVID hit India, most parts of the country were not prepared to deal with the extent of the pandemic that hit the country. Most importantly, the smaller towns were the ones which were deeply affected because they didn't have the required infrastructure nor the medical care that would help them overcome this crisis. So Mission ICU was created with the idea of building capacity in small towns. When we started, we didn't have any idea on how we will get the resources, how we will get the support needed to build this capacity. Arogya World, supported by its donors and the management team, came forward and was the first backer to this initiative, which we now call Mission ICU. Since then, we've been able to get additional support from various stakeholders, various supporters, and are well on way to set up about 150 ICU beds across 15 locations. Since the support of Arogya World, our ambition has also grown, and now we are looking at setting up 1,000 ICU beds across the country, spread across 100 locations.
In late 2019, the world changed for all of us, and there is no reason why the largest space of global mental health would remain immune to this change. And indeed, large swaths of the population are beginning to be affected by mental health problems which arise from the pandemic. There are several reasons for this. The risk factors have increased. These include things such as job uncertainty, economic insecurity, school closures, etc. On the other hand, protective factors such as social interactions have reduced because of social distancing measures, lockdowns, etc. While the prevalence of new mental health problems have increased, there have also been worsening of mental health for people who had existing mental health problems. To top it all off, in the best of circumstances, when we have poor access to mental health care services, especially in low and middle income countries, this has worsened further because of closures of clinical services, because of lack of access to clinical services due to lockdowns, and various other reasons. I would like to thank all of you, Arogya World, Nalini, and all the donors and supporters of Arogya World for helping Sangat to put this much needed resource in place. And we hope this partnership continues to grow so that we can increase access to mental health care in places where there is great need for such care. Thank you.
Now, as promised, we've got a very exciting part of the evening coming up with Joe Turner. For those of you who are not familiar with Joe Turner, he is a renowned magician and a mentalist based in Atlanta, Georgia. Joe's work has been featured across the country, including on shows such as Good Morning America, Nightline, and CNN. He goes by the title Chief Impossibility Officer, so please let's give a warm welcome to Joe Turner, who will be sprinkling a little magic into our evenings tonight.
Hi everyone, my name's Joe M. Turner. It's a pleasure to be with you all today at Arogya World's online gala. I'd like to show you a little magic. Being a magician, I get asked a lot of questions. The most popular question is, can you make something disappear? Can you make this check disappear? Or can you make this person who's bothering me disappear? Or you can make my bills disappear? Have you ever thought about when things disappear, where do they go? Like the sock in your dryer or the last drink in your ice chest as a party? When those things disappear, where do they go? I think they go in here. This doesn't look like much, it's just a piece of polystyrene plastic. But I think we can explore how it might make things disappear using this rubber ball. Now if I drop it right inside the hole, you can see that it vanishes without a trace. But if I rummage around inside, I might be able to find it in that upper corner. Let's try it again so you get a good look. We'll put it right inside there, and this time we'll shake it up really good so you can see it might not be in the same place. Oh yeah, it's down in the bottom. There it is. Some people think that when I make things disappear in here, it disappears the instant that it goes through the hole. But it doesn't. It doesn't actually disappear until I let go of it. And that's the point where you can't see it at all unless you happen to reach into the right place and find it. And that, my friends, is a pretty good illusion, wouldn't you agree? Oh wait, I think there's something inside. I think, yeah, it's that last drink from the cooler that we can use to celebrate Arogya World. There's one last thing I'd like to share with you right now. That's a beautiful illusion that's contained inside this little red cardboard box. I wonder what it could be. Let's take a look. Inside the cardboard box we have more cardboard boxes. It gets better. Look, there's cardboard trays and cardboard match cases. So here's the cartons. You can see the cartons. You line them up so it's like a telescope. You can see that. And here's the cardboard trays. What on earth could be so beautiful about these little pieces of cardboard? I remember the first time I saw someone do magic with these pieces of cardboard. He held the cartons together like this, took one tray and slid it in the end. Then he took the other tray and put it inside this end, and as he pushed, something really amazing happened. Now I was mesmerized by that, but I was a physics major and I thought, well, maybe he's holding those edges so carefully and precisely, maybe there's some kind of sealant or tiny piece of rubber or something that's holding it together perfectly airtight so that the air pressure causes the tray to move in and out. That's why when he broke the seal, as I thought it might be, he pushed on one and the other one still came out, and that bothered me greatly. In fact, he took them and put them off axis, and even though he pushed down on this one, the other one came out. And I watched him do this over and over. The one on the right went down and the left went up, and the left went down and the right went up. And no matter what he did to one, it seemed to have an effect on the other one. And it occurred to me that we're a lot like these little cardboard boxes. What one of us does can and will affect the others. And yet we all have to learn to live together right inside the same little box. That is a beautiful illusion. And I share it with you because it reminds me of Arogya World and the idea that we can have influence and impact on creating a disease-free world through medical initiatives, change initiatives, education initiatives. Even if we can't go to places around the world and do it ourselves, just through our contributions, we can have an effect on what happens somewhere else. So I'll let you think about that as you go through today. My name is Joe M. Turner. It's been a pleasure to be part of your gala today. Thank you.
Hello everyone, Namaste. Hope you're enjoying the evening so far. I'm Mugdha and I joined Arogya World as its Chief Development Officer last year. I'm so proud that Arogya World has been working to create a healthier next generation, which is also the theme of our gala today evening, since 2010, and launched Arogya Changemakers this August to mark Young India's 75th Independence Day celebration and to also engage young professionals in the US in a meaningful way. Through their passion and efforts, Arogya Changemakers, which is basically a cohort of early to mid-career professionals in the US, is helping us share our mission of creating a disease-free world and the importance of healthy diet and lifestyle. They're also helping us raise funds for our beneficiaries in India. As of now, we have 2 change makers and many interested people will be joining soon. Our first Arogya change maker is Radhika Chauhan. She has already made waves by doing a 100-mile bike ride across New York City to raise money and awareness for Arogya last month. Radhika, who's grown up in a Punjabi family with diabetes in their family history, believes that one can enjoy food without endangering their health. Through her 100-mile bike ride, she has raised more than $3,000 and reached over 100 people on behalf of Arogya. Her goal is to reach, I think, around $5,000 by the end of this year. Radhika, we are so incredibly grateful to you. The ISA, or the Indian Student Association at the University of Virginia, is our second change maker. Every year, ISA picks up a theme and an NGO to focus during their school year to both raise funds and awareness within their university community. We are so excited that this year they picked Arogya World with the help of their service chairs, Abhishek Singh and Divya Sethi, who've been so great to work with so far. Their goal is to raise $2,000 by the end of this year. Actually, why don't you all hear directly from Radhika, Abhi, and Divya on what inspired them to become Arogya changemakers? And also, if you know anyone who would like to be the next changemaker, please ask them to reach us on info@arogyaworld.org. Thank you so much.
Hi, I'm Radhika. Thank you for having me. I'm here with you today because we're facing a health crisis that is not getting the attention that it needs. The magnitude and spread of NCDs is alarming, and we have to do more to stop them. Arogya presents us with a way to help, a way to see the truth that the suffering caused by NCDs is in fact preventable. I believe in empowering and educating everyone to make better choices for their health, whether that's the food they eat, where they work, how they exercise, or how they take care of their mental health. It is all connected, and it needs our attention. Arogya's programs show commitment, creativity, and a clear focus. They are powerful and necessary right now. I am proud to further their mission and proud to be a change maker. Thank you, and thank you again for supporting me and Arogya.
Hi, everyone.
My name is Divya, and I'm a third year at UVA majoring in finance and one of ISA at UVA's service chairs.
And my name is Abhi Singh. I'm also a third year major in economics on a pre-med track, and I'm also a service chair for the ISA UVA. And this year, we're super excited to work with Arogya,
especially as Arogya changemakers.
So over the summer, Divya and I thought about what was important to us as individuals and as UVA students. And we immediately thought about the importance of living a life free of disease, especially during the pandemic.
This led us to choose Arogya World as our official service organization for the 2021-2022 school year. We relate to Arogya because we see the importance of living a healthy and balanced lifestyle, not only at UVA, but in the greater Charlottesville community. Arogya's mission to eliminate non-communicable diseases through health education and lifestyle change really stuck with us because we really believe in making a permanent change rather than a one-time fix.
It's always so inspiring to see the future generation and future change makers really taking the charge. We'll have a little bit more on Arogya's change makers and how you can support them later this evening. But for now, it's the moment we've all been waiting for. I am so pleased to introduce this trailblazing woman. She's Arogya's tireless, fearless, and visionary leader, Dr. Nalini Saligram. Please give a big round of applause to Dr. Saligram.
Thank you all for your ongoing support of Arogya World. It is because of your generosity that we get to do the work we do. Today, on World Food Day, a day set aside by the United Nations to mark the impact of food and food systems on our world, we at Arogya World reflect on one aspect, the impact of food on health. Here is something that was startling to me. Unhealthy eating is the #1 cause of death. That's what the global burden of disease says. Let's think about it. We die because of the choices we make about what we eat every day. We are so thrilled that Michelin-starred chef, cookbook author, celebrated judge of popular show MasterChef in India, and one of the great humanitarians of our times, Vikas Khanna, is joining us today for a conversation on eating right. Vikas, welcome to this online forum from all of us at Arogya World.
Absolute pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Let's just get straight to the conversation. I know your time is precious. What would you tell us, busy, multitasking, overachieving Americans and Indian Americans, about how to make healthy eating a part of our lives?
So I think healthy eating becomes a part of our life, what you said, the right thing. It's very habitual. It's not circumstantial. This is what my research, I feel it. If you decide to eat healthy, you will plan to eat healthy. Many of the times you just think about eating healthy, but we haven't planned for it. So we run for fast food, shortcuts, more packaged foods, and more deliveries, more restaurant food, which I'm individual level I'm okay, but on a community level, some days I feel it's absolutely not right. It's okay to take exceptions of eating out and all those things, but every single day we need to focus on what we consume on daily basis. And it has to be planned. More than anything else, it's a matter of planning. So what I suggest people is learn about every human body is different, learn about what diet suits you, and plan it on a weekly basis. It's amazing when you can do that. And it becomes like a habit. So a lot of people, I feel, they plan it for 3 days or 4 days. What you do is you keep 1 hour aside for cooking, and then you plan your meals based on that. You shop exactly based on that. So this eating habit is actually more about planning for me than to think that this is very kind of a very amazing subject of conversations. As you know, as a chef running big restaurants, everything you do on the plate is actually a part of a huge planning circle. So I think anything we put inside our bodies is a part of this planning menu, which you figure out, you decide, adding more grains, adding less salt, I feel, adding a combination of carbs to vitamins, to vegetables, to proteins. One thing which really lacks in American diet is use of vegetables, and somehow they consider this as not very important to many of my friends and chefs I work with. So I feel keeping that balance, making a fixed meal for yourself, and understanding that you can actually organize it and no one else can do that for you.
Yes, it's easier said than done. And then in one of the key pillars of our work is to promote healthy eating and eating right throughout India. We've developed exciting tools like My Thali that uses social media to show urban Indians what they should be eating and in what quantities at every meal. In fact, we push this balanced meal concept, and we also tell people that they should not eat more than 1 teaspoon of salt all day. And that is quite a hard thing for most Indians to accept. On 4th October, in advance of Diwali, you'll be real pleased. We started a Healthy Wali Diwali campaign to get people to take a pledge that they would eat 1 balanced meal a day 1 month in advance of Diwali. We've also adapted My Thali for rural India. What suggestions would you have for us to scale and educate more consumers on healthy eating as we strive to change the eating habits of the entire nation?
I feel that one thing which we need to go back and look into our roots. Our ancestors, majority of them lived a very healthy life, majority of them. My grandparents were 94 and 92. And I figured out that one thing they were very disciplined about is not eating any kind of flour, maida, all-purpose flour. So our house never had that concept of maida. I saw maida first time when I went to college. So she will always tell me that when you're making even naan, add little atta to it. And I'll wonder, because we don't do that in restaurants, but she said, do it because it's adding more fiber to the body, which is very important. I think looking at our wisdom of our ancestors is quintessential right now. Understanding that we're all looking at a holistic way to heal ourselves, especially the last 1.5, 2 years have been very hard on us physically and mentally and emotionally. Right. Looking back to our roots is a very mandatory thing, which as Indians we must look at and spread it. Ours is the only cuisine on the planet which is actually based on science, of spices, of combinations of everything. Of course, and we're talking about Diwali now. So one thing we need to plan for Diwali is finding substitutes for sugar when we're having mithai.
We'll send you some information about a sugar-free dessert contest that we ran with Bangalore Foodies Club in India at some stage. So I'd love to send you some information.
I love those
nice recipes, very nice recipes were there. Great entries. So you brought up the last 1.5 years, and I did want to go back to that. And I wanted you to please tell us what led you to pivot to COVID relief work in India and describe some of your recent efforts. It is inspiring to read about this, and we would like our Arogya community to hear firsthand from you.
So I finished the shoot of MasterChef India in March, and I came to Boston first, and then I came to New York on 29th March. Now this time the first wave of pandemic had started. And because we sign up a lot of newsletters of American Indian foundations, so it's easier for us to contribute in America, while we know that people are working back home to benefit Indian organizations and Indians. So I got this email, which was a spam email, saying that the India is going to witness a huge deficit in food because of the COVID and lockdowns, and also because, especially for elderly people, orphanages and leprosy centers, which was my primary focus. So because I focus on donating those organizations which help that, and being a chef, hunger is always something which crushes you. While we live in a country of abundance and wastage, I feel that there's enough hunger in this country too. But that spam email really broke my heart. And on April 1st, we started a campaign thinking that we can reach out and we can deliver dry ration, which is rice, lentils, flour, all these things to these places. But I did not understand. Sitting in New York, this logistics will be like the biggest nightmare of my life I'd ever witnessed. But I jumped into it. And just in the first few assignments, I failed. And then I called my mom. I think it was April 11th. And I called my mom that I can't do this anymore because it's very tough. Because logistically, it's not possible. We always think it's not possible to get things done so far and from distance. And, of course, I can use my influence and everything, but that doesn't ensure that the chain is actually running properly. And then my mother, I think she was upset with me for giving up. And she said that, you cut your hand and you burnt your hand so many times as a kid in the kitchen, but your grandmom never let you stop cooking. She's saying these scars are your beauty. And she's saying, just think of this as a scar now. And if you give up, and this is the first time India needs you, we've celebrated all your successes and we cried at your failures. This is the time where I have to remember that I gave birth to a warrior. Even if he fails, I'm accepting that, but I'm not accepting he's giving up.
That is really inspiring, Vikas. This is a gala, it's a fundraiser. What more can you tell our audience? Why do India causes matter? And why do they need our support? And how can nonprofits like Arogya World help?
I love supporting the nonprofits which understands 501(c), because that's very important for many of the people who live here. And having, of course, I understand doing things out of passion is fantastic, but doing things out of system is very logical. And it will go much longer in terms of how far a foundation goes. And foundation like Arogya and all these people who actually support back home, it could be nutrition, food, education. This is what we've come from. This is who we are. If I'm not supporting education back home, our hunger back home, I don't deserve having these stages. I feel that I'm stealing from someone and I'm not completing the cycle. Have you ever been to Langar?
Yeah.
Well, in Gurdwara, my grandmother used to take me to Langar, and she used to tell me always one thing, always. Like, we will, as kids, we are more interested in going and having the prasada. We will run in the, what you call Langar hall. It was very different at that time when we were growing up. We'll eat and we will be leaving, and she'll always hold me and says, remember one thing, the circle is not complete because you just touched one point. You've got to come back and give your first grain of harvest. You've got to come back and clean. You've got to come back and cook. You've got to come back and prep. You've got to come back and clean. Clean would be very important to her because it humbles you. And she's saying, Just being at one point does not make a full cycle. For us who left home, it can't be just one point. There are so many different points which we have to connect, which makes us very wholesome.
Wow. I'm inspired because I learned so much about what drives you. Thank you so much for your insights and wisdom and for the time you spent with us. It was a fascinating conversation and really thoughtful comments. We are going to think about this a lot. From all of us in the Arogya community, thank you for all you do for India and the world. Thank you so much.
I'm very inspired by what you do. Thank you.
Thank you, Nalini and Vikas, for that thought-provoking conversation. Now, through Arogya, I've actually learned that a lot of the unhealthy foods that we eat can have an almost immediate negative effect on our bodies and health, whether that's a spike in our blood sugar level, elevated cholesterol, elevated blood pressure, bloating, puffiness, not to mention all the extra calories. But research has actually shown that there is one type of unhealthy food where the negative effects and the suffering isn't really seen until about 10 years. Scientists call this the wedding cake. I'm sure many of us here tonight can attest to that sentiment. But all jokes aside, I'd now like to talk about another very important segment of this evening, where we pledge to give to as many of Arogya's missions and programs as possible. Now, there are many ways you can give tonight, and you can make a donation directly to one of Arogya's programs, or you can donate to one of Arogya's change makers and help them reach their fundraising target. Earlier this evening, Mugdha introduced two pioneer change makers, Radhika and Divya and Abhi from UVA. Please donate to help them reach their fundraising goals. There is nothing more fulfilling or inspiring than helping the next generation. Now, there are other ways you can give is by supporting one of Arogya's programs, and I'm going to walk you through all those program tiers tonight. Again, I'd like to remind you that 100% of your donations go directly to supporting Arogya, and they are all tax deductible. You can also text Arogya to 61094 and give through there. Now, let's talk about the first tier. The first tier is $2,500, and that money goes straight towards empowering and educating 5,000 women and girls across both rural and urban India on healthy eating with Arogya's My Thali. The average woman in India is really the decision maker of what is cooked and consumed in her house. So by teaching approximately 5,000 women, the trickle-down effect of that, as you can imagine, is at least 3 to 4 times more. Now the next tier is at $1,000. And where does your $1,000 go towards? Well, it goes towards educating 4,000 people across India with text messages in 12 local languages about all the lifestyle changes that they can make to help prevent non-communicable diseases such as diabetes. Our third tier is $500, and $500 will actually help educate 1,000 adolescent children between the ages of 11 and 14, enabling them to cultivate healthier eating and living habits. Now, $500 across 1,000 people, that is $2 per child for a lifetime of positive changes. Our fourth tier is a $250 donation, and that goes directly to helping Arogya promote their digital Healthy Schools program among school children across Maharashtra. The fifth tier is a $100 donation, and that goes straight to helping Arogya engage with various stakeholders, such as the Indian government, corporations, influencers, and various health practitioners. So those are all the tiers. You can see more on Arogya's website as well. Please give at any level that you feel you're most comfortable giving with, and that you feel you would like to have that sort of a reach and that sort of an impact. Again, I'd like to remind you 100% of your donations go towards supporting Arogya's vital programs, and they're all tax deductible as per the US law. You can also text Arogya to 61094. Arogya World is reaching people who have never really had the opportunity to learn about nutrition, dietary changes, exercise, or how to even begin starting to create healthy habits and healthy lifestyles. So, whatever program it is that you find connects to you, or whatever donation tier that you choose this evening, all of it is important and all of it really, really matters. I would now like to invite the highly regarded Dr. K.M. Venkatnarayan. He's the professor of global health and epidemiology at Rollins School of Public Health at Emory University to provide the concluding remarks tonight.
Hello, I am Venkat Narayan. I'm a faculty at Emory School of Public Health and School of Medicine, and I run the Emory Global Diabetes Research Center. As you all know, diabetes is a major problem for the entire world, and especially a big problem for India and for Indians worldwide. The disease in India affects a lot of very young people at the prime of their life. It affects people who are apparently look thin and may not be looking obese. So it's a major problem in India in terms of loss of health, major complications, considerable suffering in terms of disability, etc. But fortunately, there is a lot of very good science that can be used to prevent diabetes, such as following a good lifestyle, which in a healthy diet, regular physical activity, regular sleep, avoiding stress, can all help to prevent diabetes. And similarly, for those people with diabetes, there is considerable good treatments available in terms of controlling glucose, controlling blood pressure, controlling lipids, regular examinations for eye and foot disease. And by doing all this, it's possible to prevent a lot of the diabetes complications. So yes, diabetes is a major problem, but the good news is there are a number of things that we can do to prevent diabetes and also to prevent diabetes complications. But doing all this requires considerable outreach to communities, getting people motivated, getting people educated, providing them the skills. And this is where the work of organizations like Arogya International and of Nalini Saligram becomes so important, because they have the methods to reach out to communities and to engage with them to get them to change. So this work that Arogya has been doing in India for a number of years is remarkable, and I want to applaud them.
Thank you, Dr. Narayan, for your insightful remarks. It's now that part of the evening where I bid you goodbye, but before I leave, I do want to say thank you so much to Arogya and the audience for having me this evening as your MC. You have a lifetime Arogya ambassador in me now. I also want to thank all of you for your generosity this evening. You know, virtual galas are really hard. You don't have the same back and forth, and you don't feel the energy of the room like you do in a live gala. It's difficult for the organizers, for the MCs, the hosts, the speakers, and especially to you, the audience. But I do want to say that tonight has been a tremendous evening, and that's really in thanks to you for being such a passionate and engaged, albeit virtual audience. So thank you once again. I look forward to seeing you next year at Arogya's 2022 Gala. And till then, I wish you a very happy, healthy, and safe rest of the year.
Thank you, Shreyasi, for emceeing this evening's program. I want to also thank all the speakers and partners and donors for visibly backing us and for giving us so much to think about, especially Chef Vikas Khanna. We learned so much from your remarks today, especially the importance of planning and balanced meals, and that we must fulfill the circle and complete all our obligations before we can enjoy the prasada, and that giving back is one of those steps. Dr. Venkat Narayan for reminding us why prevention of diabetes is so important. We have achieved a lot with your support this year. It's been a tough year, but we've done a lot. We've shored up key partnerships, scaled up several of our programs, and leveraged technology in innovative ways. We're even exploring the use of artificial intelligence as part of the Google social AI for social good effort this year. I wanted to end this evening on a note of hope. We at Arogya World are brimming and full of hope for the impact we know we can make. Your support will help us get there. We know we can help millions improve their health. And we thank you for joining us on this journey. I wanted to wish you a wonderful holiday season at the end of what has been a very tough year. Thank you all.